पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. So, welcome to the Bhagavad Gita discussion on the Sarartha Varshini Tika and the Rasik Ranjan sub Tika, sub commentary. So, yesterday we began the third chapter, which is Karma Yoga, and I said I'll deal with this overview more in detail later on. But verses 1 to 10, Karma Yoga is better than Gyan Yoga, is what is the theme. And yesterday I mentioned what is Arjuna's question? In 2.40 to 45, Krishna establishes Buddhi Yoga as Bhakti Yoga superior to Karma Kanda and Jnana Yoga. But in 247, Krishna is considering Jnana and Bhakti not suitable for Arjuna, instruction Nishkam Karma Yoga. And as he is instructing Samadho Achala Buddhi, Yadate Moha Kalilam Buddhi Rvati Tarishate Buddhi, Buddhi, he has heard, na? And that's Stita Pragya. And then he asks these Lakshans, and then Krishna speaks about Sha Shantim, Adigachati, Sa Shanti Mahamnoti. Shanti, Ashantasya kuta sukham. So he wants peace. He doesn't want to engage in this war. He feels this is ghora karma. So, in a friendly mood, Sakya Bhavena, that's what Vishwanath Chakra Thakur in his Sanskrit commentary. Yesterday we relished the rasa of Krishna and Arjuna as having a friendly uh, Sakya rasa discussion, and in that, rasa exchange, Arjuna is addressing Krishna, Adakena, Janardana, Niyojasi, Keshava, Jayasi Chet Karmanaste, Mata Buddhir, Janardana, Tat Karma, Tat Kim Karmani Ghore Mam, Niyojasi Keshava. So he addresses. So yesterday we saw the deeper meanings of that also. So Arjuna only sees two options in activity, which is buddhi, which is the sthita pragya stage. Nishkam karma yoga matures into jnana nishta, where there is goodness and knowledge and goodness. Or he sees activity and fighting, which he feels it is vikarma. Whereas Krishna has spoken four options. In fact, five I mentioned. He has spoken about Nirguna Bhakti also from 2.40 to 45. Excuse me. This is very, very bad handwriting. So I'll just change it now. So he has spoken about Nirguna Bhakti Yoga also in 2.42. Then he has spoken about Gyan. That Gyan, Sir Shantim, especially the 70th and the 71st verse. And Vishwanath Chakravarti also mentions that when he's Shanti, he says Gyan. That means there is no material desire, there is no impetus to do actions. So, in that sense, he is qualified for Gyan Yoga, that Sthita Pragya. So, in Gyan, there is renounced inactivity, there is no activity. In Nishkama Karma Yoga, there is activity, but renouncing the fruits. But in Gyan Yoga, there is renounced inactivity, there is no activity. You're just deliberating on Brahman, meditating, contemplating. Because Gyanis have an understanding that if I do actions, the actions will bind me. So that's why they use this process of neti neti, and they just meditate on the Upanishads and the Vedanta Sutra. Always there is contemplation. So in that there is no fighting. In Nishkam Karma Yoga, there is renounced activity, fighting for liberation. This also leads to liberation. Karma Kanda, there is fruitive activity, fighting for heaven, which Krishna doesn't recommend. And there is Vikarma, the sinful activity that is giving up fighting. So we saw this verse also yesterday. Again, I'll not go through the discussion. And then when Arjuna addresses Krishna in a friendly way, very with harsh criticism. No, Krishna stares at Arjuna. Then Arjuna speaks this verse, Vyamishrena Vyakyena. My intellect is bewildered, Buddhi mohasiya. Tad ekam vada nishchitam. So, first you speak about, karmanyevadhikaraste, and then you speak about Shanti, Jnana Yoga. So, don't instruct me in two things, instruct me in one thing. So, what Arjuna has a misunderstanding, as I mentioned, that ultimately Nishkama Karma Yoga matures into Gyan. There is Gyan within it. And as the Sattva increases, so there is Rajasic Nishkam Karma Yoga, there is Sattvic Nishkam Karma Yoga, where it's like equanimity. And then you're in Sattva, where you're qualified for Gyan. So I mentioned this, and this is purification of the heart. So then Krishna starts answering, that Lokesmin Dvida Nishta Pura Purokta Mayanaga. Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam, Karma Yogena Yoginam. Nishta means, adhikar, faith. One who has adhikar for jnana, he has attained Sthita Pragya stage. He has attained the stage of Naishkarmya. He is qualified for Gyan and he will do what? Sankhya Yogena. Sankhya Yogena means analysis of the 24 elements. That's his deliberation. But one who has faith in karma, then he might do Karma Yogena Yogina. He performs karma. You know. So Arjuna, you have adhikar for karma and there are no two paths. There is one above the other. Nishkama Karma Yoga, that is Rajasic Nishkama Karma Yoga, will lead to Sattvic Nishkama Karma Yoga, and then further it will lead to Gyan. So that is what Krishna explained. And now he is now going to elaborate this in till the ninth verse, that why Arjuna you are qualified for Karma Yoga and not for Gyan Yoga. Okay. So we saw na karmanam anarambha naishkarmyam purusha ashnute na cha sanyasanadeva siddhim samadhigacchati. Without performance, arambha means to begin, or anarambha means not doing. Karmanam, prescribed karmas according to varnashram, a person cannot attain purity. Purusha naishkarmya na ashnute. So there is a purification of the chitta which happens, and it is only by Nishkama Karma Yoga. It is only by Nishkama Karma Yoga, not by, you cannot do that by any other way. No? It is Nishkama Karma Yoga. Nishkama Karma Yoga. Okay. This is better handwriting. Just by renunciation of activities, sannyasana, you just, you just give up doing activities by taking the saffron, sannyas. But internally, the impetus to do actions is there. So just by doing that, you know, you'll be impure internally. So impure person cannot attain perfection. So that's what he speaks about it. Now, further he speaks about it further. Nahi kaschit shanamapi jhatu tishtat karma krit karyate hi avasha karma sarve prakritir jair gune. No one, nahi kaschit. Kaschit means not even one person can remain without doing activity. Jatu tishtat akarma krit. You know, akarma here means again uh, non-activity. Karma means action, a generic sense, and akarma is inaction, inaction, or no action, to make it more clear. So here the akarma can have also different meaning. What is another meaning of akarma? Anyone knows? Raise your hands. What is another meaning of akarma? What is the meaning of akarma? Another meaning. Tirthpad Prabhuji. Yeah, Teerth Path Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, ho, Dandavat Pranam.
Hmm.
Whatever activity we do in the devotion, that is a karma, devotional activities for the pleasure of the Lord.
So you're now doing a karma?
Uh,
Are you doing a karma? You're doing devotional activities, na? So is it a karma?
but desire should not be there, the personal desire.
Uh, but still you have to answer my question. Are you doing a karma?
No, Prabhu. When the
Ah,
miss, yes.
yeah, when you come to that state, by doing now these activities, you learn the art of, by which become free from Sukrita, Dushkrita, and you attain that state. Yes. In one sense, we are heading towards that only, in one sense, because it is Mishra Bhakti. There are, reactions to our actions coming also, and the full past actions, pious and impious, are not full eliminated. But once you take to Shuddha Bhakti, then Sukrututta Anartha and Dishkrututta Anarthas will be very quickly destroyed. Yes, in one sense, we are also, and we are not also in one sense. Okay. Okay. So, karma means, we do the actions. I'll make it more precise now. Perfect actions. 100% action done for only Krishna's pleasure, which doesn't yield any reaction. No reaction at all. So the whole consciousness is fully, purely out of love for Krishna. And then that is the state of akarma. Okay. So here akarma has the meaning of no action, without remaining any activity. Even for a moment, shanamapi, all are forced to engage in action. Sarve avasha karma karyate by the gunas arising from prakriti. Prakriti jair guner. Jair means born out of prakriti. So now what to speak? In the conditioned state, the soul is active. In the liberated state, how much will be more active? Just like sack bags, gunny bags. If you put yourself inside the gunny bag and you do a 100 meters running race, how difficult it is to run with the gunny bag. And then people run and then win the race. But once the bag is out, gunny bag, then you can run faster. So similarly, we have this bag in the form of body and we are so active. But once the body is not there, gross and subtle, how much the soul is active. So Prabhupada explains that in his purport that the soul is active by nature. So let's see what here in the flow Vishwanath Chakravarti is saying. Rather, the person of impure heart who gives up scriptural activities becomes engrossed in material actions. Now you have an impure heart, follow the scriptures, dharma, which means varnashram dharma, and do Nishkam Karma Yoga by which your heart will become pure. But if you don't take up to dharma in the form of varnashram dharma and Nishkam Karma Yoga, you will be forced to do activities because sarve prakriter jair guna hai. Avasha you will be pushed to do actions and you will do sinful activities by which the heart will become more impure. So that is why Arjuna, you perform Nishkam Karma Yoga. You know, that is explained in this verse. But sannyas, renunciation of activities, means a negation of all tendencies for both Vedic and material activities. Does it not? So here Arjuna is raising a question that, nahi sannyasana deva. Arjun wanted to take sannyas from this battle. So he has this in his mind now. But sannyas means to give up both Vedic. So Vedic here means Nitya Karma and Naimitic Karma. So the Nitya Karma are the regular duties which one has to do, like Sandhya Vandana, all the uh, other spiritual duties. The Naimitika are based on the Varna and the Ashrama. There are specific duties for the Brahmanas, for the Kshatriyas, so that are and there are some times, particular periods, Chaturmas, there are some of specific duties or like that, or during the Pitra Paksha or whatever it is. And then there is Kamya Karma. Kamya Karma means doing actions without desires, which will become Sakama, it's Karma Kanda, so that is not recommended. And ordinary duties, all duties. So both. Sannyas means to give up everything. So what beyond one will avasha, one will engage in action. Anyway, sarve prakriti jayar gunair. So that's why Arjuna, you have Kshatriya nature. So you do karmanyava adhikaraste. You have adhikar for karma, Kshatriya dharma, and don't desire the fruits. But if you don't follow the scriptural injunction, then you will be dictated by the modes and you will perform actions which will bind you and which will make you more impure. Whereas these actions, according to dharma, because it is prescribed in scriptures, and when it is done without a desire for fruits, it will purify your heart. Okay, okay. Bhaktivinoda Thakur on this. Even if a person of impure consciousness abandons scripturally prescribed work, he will still be compelled to act according to his own nature, which is acquired from the three modes, sattva, raja, and tama. Therefore, it is improper for him to abandon scripturally prescribed duties which purify the heart. You know? So, this is exactly what even Vishwanath Thakur is saying, but in a different way. Now, कर्मेन्द्रियाणि संयम्य य आस्ते मनसा स्मरन् इन्द्रियार्थान् विमूढात्मा मिथ्याचार स उच्यते. He who controlling the actions of the senses. Karmendriyani sanyamya. Now, previously he spoke about, sannyas. The sannyas renounces all actions. So, karmendriyani, all the karmendriyas, he is externally, not engaging. But in the mind, he is meditating. Ye aste manasasparan. Remains remembering those objects of the senses. Ye aste indriyarthan smaran. In his mind, manasa is bewildered. Vimudhatma, he is a vimudhatma and is called a pretender. Sa mityachara uchate. So don't become a pretender, Arjuna. Externally, you might not do actions of your Kshatriya of fighting, and you might restrain your hands and legs, you know but internally in the consciousness, you cannot give up, ye aste manasasparam. So now Arjuna is asking this question. Okay, I have to make this blue green because that's what is the coding we have decided. Green is Arjuna and blue is Krishna. This Krishna is blue, not really like that. He who controls the senses of action, such as speech or hands, karmendriyani. So this refers to the karmendriyas, the five karmendriyas. I hope you know the five karmendriyas: the hands, the legs, the the speech, the anus, and the genitals. But remains remembering the objects of the senses under the pretense of meditating is a cheater, mityachar. Note, the five senses of action are the hands, feet, voice, anus, and genitals. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. What will happen to a person of impure heart forcibly restrains his working senses, karmendriyas. While restricting his external senses, he will be internally meditating on sense objects. Such a foolish person is known as a hypocrite. Okay. So I remember there is one famous book written by Prabhupada disciple, Miracle on the 26th Avenue. Now, This is about His Holiness. I'm not able to recollect the name. Anyone remembers? Goswami, one of the first disciples of Prabhupada. Anyone remembers the title Miracles on the 26th Avenue written by whom? Not able to remember the name of the sannyasi. Hopefully, I should. Uh, hmm. Anyone remembers? Mukunda Goswami. Yes, Mukunda Goswami. Yes, I remember. Mukunda Goswami is one of the first disciples of Prabhupada. So he was a hippie, and you know how clean they used to be. And he, after hearing Prabhupada Kirtan, and hearing a lecture, Prabhupada had the store, matchless gift. That was where he used to give his lectures. And is at his staying place just opposite in a room. And all these hippies were in and around. It was so dirty place that Prabhupada was staying upstairs and he had to climb the steps and go. And he saw when he had gone to meet Prabhupada that all the hippies were lying drunk, vomiting. There was smell of stool, urine on the path. Then he had to cross all this, get into the steps, go to on the top of the steps and enter Prabhupada's room. And he could not just bear that smell. He himself was, always dirty, but he just could not handle such deep tamaguna, and Prabhupada was staying there. Just imagine. And he mentions, Mukunda Goswami, that a lady from America came to the Himalayas in India in order to do meditation. And she did a lot of tapasya. And what was the tapasya she did? She covered herself till the head by ice, you know, completely covered. And for 6 months, she was under that ice. And after 6 months, the reporters all came and they were interviewing her. And they asked her, what were your thoughts when you were there? What was going on in your mind? And she, being very honest, she said, no, back in America, no, back in my hometown, I'm very addicted to, coffee, drinking in the coffee shop. These coffee shops are there, very famous in America. The coffee day, right? So I was always contemplating when I'll finish this meditation and drink my coffee. So Karmendriyani Sanyamya, she was under the ground, contrarily, the Karmendriyas were not active. But what? Ye aste manasa smaran. So Indriyartha Vimudatman. So don't become a Mityachari. That's the point. So who was performing more austerities? Prabhupada in New York or this lady under the ice? Who are here from Belgaum? Yeah, only Vinuta Mataji. Do you know anyone in Belgaum? Any saint who was under the earth for a month? Have you heard about it?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
No, Prabhuji, in Belgaum.
Yeah, in Belgaum, near on the way towards Sankeshwar, this highway, there is one famous saint lives there. And he was also under the mud, only head is on top, and for 1 month he was like that. And it
Mhm.
attained some siddhi, and people all over the village used to come and worship him. So after he finished his meditation, he just, was eating sweets, a lot of sweets. Because the urges become more stronger. The more when you do this kind of fasting, all the senses become weak, but the tongue becomes more stronger, more voracious. So this is all mithyachar, just externally, taking up sannyas will not purify the heart. That's the point Krishna is making here. You know. Uh, So this is a place just 20 kilometers from Belgaum. I know about it. In my school days, I came to know that he was under the earth. Only his head was on top for a month. Okay.
Hmm.
Then on the other hand, he says now he instructs, Yastu indriyani manasa niyammarabate arjuna karmendriyani karmyogam asaktam sa vishishyate. He who, yahatu, now after explaining that, mityachar, but on the other hand, you can say yahatu, free from attachment, asakta, controlling the senses by the mind, indriyani manasa niyamya, begins karma yoga with his active senses. Karmendriya karma yoga arabate. Arabate means to begin, begins, is superior. Sa vishishyate, he is better. So Krishna is recommending karma yoga. And because it is asakta, asakta means without desiring the fruits. It is nishkama karma yoga. So many become, no, yeah, this we have not heard this word nishkama karma yoga. But when you are detached from the fruits, it is nishkama. So that's how you have to become familiar with this terminology. In contrast to this, the householder, not the sannyasi, who performs scriptural actions, karma yogam, without longing for fruits of his actions, asakta is superior. So a grahastha can become a superior to sannyasi who has given up, actions and is just renounced. He's a mityachari, but he is superior. Ramanuja says is this regard that is superior to the person practicing jnana because of implausibility of going astray by this method. So uh, now why this statement has to be understood? Actually, uh, karma yoga, from karma yoga you can go to bhakti yoga very easily because there are actions here, also actions done for Krishna's pleasure. Here the actions are offered, that's it. But the actions are based on swabhav. Here the actions are the soul's propensity. That's the difference. So there is activity in both. Activity in both. Now, it will come up in the fifth chapter also. I will take it up more in detail. But please try to hear this and understand this. But when you perform Nishkama Karma Yoga and you mature and you go through these different stages where there is Rajasic Nishkama Karma Yoga. In Rajasic means in Rajas, the mode of passion. And then there is Nishkama Karma Yoga where you have attained Sattva. And then you have attained the stage of Jnana where there is knowledge in the mode of goodness. There is no action. Now you take up to Jnana Yoga. Now Jnana Yoga, there is no activity. So you have gone to come to Jnana Yoga, you have gone from a state of action to or activity, I'll take it as activity, to a state of inactivity. Gyan is inactivity. We saw Gyan Yoga. But what happens is ultimately highest is Bhakti Yoga. So in Bhakti Yoga there is activity. So from inactivity to again coming back to activity is difficult. So that's why you can go astray. But in Karma Yoga there is activity. In Bhakti Yoga there is activity. So you go straight. So that's why Karma Yoga is better, superior to practicing of Gyan. So now this will become more clear in the fifth chapter. Hold on now. If you have questions also, I'll take up, but still. Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur on this. A man engaged in family life who follows the injunction of the scriptures, even if incompetently is to be considered superior to the above mentioned hypocrite. Fifth previous verse. He controls his knowledge acquiring senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, etc. by his mind. Yastu indriyani manasa. Indriyani here now refers to the Gyan Indriyas. And follows Karma Yoga, performance of actions. Now, for doing Karma Yoga, Actions, you need the karmendriyas with his working senses. Example, legs, hands, speech. By performing karma yoga, he will gradually become free from desiring the fruits of actions. Now, further. Niyatam kuru karmatvam karmajayo hi karmana sharira yatra pichate na prasidyet akarmana. Perform your daily scriptural duties. Tvam kuru niyatam karma. So this is your niyat karma, nitya karma, as you say, no? Your regular duties, scriptural duties. Like for a Kshatriya, every day he has to go to the sabha, and if there is some justice to be done, some issues to be discussed, policy matters, he has to every day attend the courts, his royal kingdom court. So like that, niyatam. So that's his nitya dharma. And naimittik, sometimes war comes to protect the praja, he has to fight the dharma yuddha. This is better than not acting. Karma jayo hi akarmana. So again, here the term akarma means no action. Sharira yatra cha te. You cannot even maintain your body. Na cha prasiddhet sharira yatra pi by non-action. So non-action. Akarma is non-action. Because again in this chapter or in the next chapter, akarma will have a different meaning. So that's why I'm pointing out now only so that you become familiar with the terminologies. Therefore, you should engage in daily obligatory activities such as Sandhya Vandana, Niyatam Karma. Even the Brahmana, Kshatris, and Vaishyas have Sandhya Vandana. It is better than renunciation of these actions, karma sannyas. By renunciation of all actions, you will not be able to maintain your body. Even for the maintenance of the body, you have to do your, karma. Okay. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. For an unqualified person, the performance of prescribed duties is superior to the abandonment of them. For the unqualified person. How will you abandon karma when without it you will not be able to maintain the body? Thus, give up the fruitive mentality and instead perform nitya karma, regulated duties such as chanting of Gayatri Mantra and performance of worship. So, Nishkam Karma Yoga basically it means. When the heart becomes purified, you will cross Gyan and attain Nirguna Bhakti. So, ultimately, Bhakti Thakur is giving a hint. Ultimately, Krishna had blessed Arjuna that Nistraigunya Bhava Arjuna. I'll bless you. Bhava means, Bhavata Shanti Astu, like that. May we become peaceful, Sarve Sukhina Bhavantu. Bhavantu is there, na? There. So he had blessed him, but you'll attain this by the mercy of your pure devotees, he had told. So you will ultimately cross Jnana and then attain Nirgun Bhakti. So like that, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains. So three reasons why Karma Yoga is better than Jnana Yoga. Avoid hypocrisy, mithyachar, maintain the social order, and maintain your body. And what hypocrisy means? Hypocrisy means to accept the prestige and privileges of the position without accepting its services and sacrifices. So Arjuna wants to take the position of jnana, this lofty level of jnana. Buddhi is here jnana, That's what he had understood. But he wants to come to this position. But for that, he has to start Nishkama Karma Yoga. And with this, when jnana matures, then he'll come to Nishkam Karma Yoga. But right now he has adhikar for this and he's, trying to, I want to, when buddhi is better, then why you're telling me to do karma, is it? So basically, you want the prestige and position of a sannyasi or a renounced person, but you have to begin from here, not just externally renouncing or not purifying the heart. So, you have to accept, you have to do the sacrifice of going through all this, and then only you can take. That's the point. So, these are the three reasons. Now he concludes in one discussion, Yajnartat karmanonyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartam karma kaunteya mukta sangha samachara. Now this Acharya say is, the seed of devotion. Now, Nishkama Karma Yoga, the fruits are offered to the Supreme Lord. But who is the Supreme Lord? Who is the Supreme Lord? What is he addressed here as? Anyone? What is he addressed here? The Supreme Lord is addressed here as. What is he addressed here as? The Supreme Lord. Very simple question I'm asking all of you. Shri Lalita Mataji. Yes. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. There might be some background noise, Prabhu. Kindly excuse. He is Yajnarta. He is the benefactor of all sacrifices.
What is he addressed as? What is his name here addressed in this verse? That's what I'm asking. That's it, I'm asking. Sumit Prabhuji. Yeah, Sumit Prabhuji. Wait, let me unmute you. Yeah, yeah.
Prabhuji, it is Yagya.
Yagya. And Krishna, he's saying Tadartham. Tadamartham means he's addressing himself in third person. He's not addressing Madartham. Mad means, me. I am that Yagya. He's not addressing himself as Yagya. He's not revealing the absolute truth. But Prabhupada, right from the Bhagavad Gita first chapter only, he reveals who is the Supreme Lord, Krishna. But in the Gita, Tadartham, that for that artham, karma you do. Who is that? He doesn't reveal. And in the middle 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, in the uh, Krishna says, Aham Kartur Aham Yagya. Who is Yagya? I. Yagya. I am Yagya. So who is Yagya? He reveals here only in the 9th chapter. So you can see the whole connection in the Bhagavad Gita, right? So first time this concept, uh, this term has again come. A new term has come, Yagya. Yagya has come. So Yagya basically means sacrifice. Now, this this can be at various levels understood. A student has to sacrifice his play in order to study so that he can make a career. Now, the Sakama Karmis, they sacrifice the ingredients what they have, in the yagya in order to attain heaven, right? But the highest level from the Bhakti Yoga perspective, Prabhupada says, sacrifice means to, give up the interest of the senses, Yajnanam japa yagyosmi, Krishna says. To offer our consciousness to Krishna. Krishna is asking that. And that is very dear we hold. We give, donation, take donation. I don't have my time. You take funds for building your temple, whatever. But Krishna wants you, your consciousness, your heart. Heart is the seat of consciousness. So like that, Prabhupada in the Isha Upanishad mentions sacrifice as, giving up the interest of the senses and working for Krishna's interest. So that is the highest level of yagya. So that we have to understand. But yagya is here directly referring to yagya by Vishnu, that is Krishna. Without performing actions for the purpose of sacrifice. Yajnartat karmano anyatra. And by the way, sacrifice comes from the sacred, things which make sacred or purify, which purify us. The people of the world are bound by their actions. I am loka karma bandhana. O son of Kunti, Kaunteya, perform actions for that purpose. You see that? Tadartam karma samachara, freed from attachment to results, mukta sangha. So Nishkam Karma Yoga basically. So here the seed of devotion is there because it is to be offered to Yajna in one sense. So there is karma which is pradhan. There is a small bhakti element. It is, for ultimately the Purusha, for the Yajna Purusha, like that. The Smriti scriptures say that one is bound by actions. Karmana badhyate jantu. Therefore, I will become bound by performing actions. So this is Arjuna. He's thinking, if I do fight this war, I will incur sin. That's why, I don't want to fight. And that's why he doesn't, want to fight. But here now, Krishna is saying, no, actions offered to the Supreme Lord does not bind. It does not bind. So, okay. That is explained in the Dharma, scriptural duties offered to Vishnu without personal desire is called Yajna. So here is the definition of Yajna. And the Yajna Murti is, the first avatar, that is Vara. Persons become bound by karma, by any other actions for any other purpose. Anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. What is the verse? Yagyartha karmano anyatra. Anyatra. If you do anyatra, other than not for the Yajna Purusha, and other than that, then you are bound. Therefore, you should perform actions, karma samachara, for accomplishing such duties, tadartham. But even if I perform actions which are offered to Vishnu, if I perform them with desires, then still I will become bound. Sakam karma binds. One should be devoid of the desire for results. That's why Krishna is saying, mukta sangha samachara. Don't be attached to the results. So this is again Nishkam Karma Yoga only. Thus the Lord spoke to Uddhava. So here these are two references Vishwanath Chakravarti gives. Vishwanath Chakravarti in many of the Gita commentary, mostly in his Gita commentary, gives quotations from Uddhava Gita which are all dealing with Shuddha Bhakti. Swadharmasto yagya yagyer yajan yagyer yagner anashi kama uddhava nayati swarga narko yadyanyan na samachare. Oh, a person who is situated in his prescribed swadharmastha. Swastha means situated. Properly worshipping by Vedic sacrifices, yajan, yagyer, but not desiring the results. Anashi kama will not go to heavenly planets. Na yati swargam. Similarly, by not performing forbidden activities, yadi anyan na samacharet, he will not go to hell. Na yati narako. Then, what will happen then for him? Asmilloke vartamana swadharmasto anagasuchi jnanam vishuddham apnoti madbhaktim va yadrichaya. One who is situated in his prescribed duty, swadharmastha. This is 10, this is 11, next verse. So there is continuation of the discussion. He is answering now. He will not go to heaven nor hell. Then where will he go? This verse is answering. Free from the sinful activities and cleansed of material contamination, he becomes anaga and he becomes suchi. He becomes free from sin and he becomes pure. In this very life, asmin loke vartamana obtains transcendental knowledge, jnanam vishuddham apnoti, or by fortune, bhakti to me. Mad bhaktim va yadrichaya. Now, I have a question. Please hear carefully. Now, you have adhikar for karma. You perform nishkama karma yoga. And then, this verse is saying that you will be jnanam vishuddhapnoti. You will attain jnana. That's you become qualified for jnana yoga. Okay. Now, Krishna has said that Mad Bhaktim va Yadrichaya. Then from Jnana Yoga, you will attain Bhakti yoga, which is the highest yoga. Is it true or no? What do you think? Does just like Nishkama Karma Yoga will automatically lead to Jnana Yoga? My question to you all is, please hear carefully. Just like Nishkam Karma Yoga, when it is performed, when it matches, it will automatically, you will become qualified for Jnana Yoga. By Jnana Yoga practice, will you come to Bhakti Yoga? Will Jnana Yoga lead to Bhakti Yoga? Is my question. Navneet Kalra Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Done with. No, Prabhuji.
Why?
Unless you get the association of devotees, Satam Kripa.
Unless Yadricha, the pure devotees bestow their mercy. If by Gyan you attain Bhakti, then Bhakti is dependent on Gyan. But Bhakti is independent. Bhakti is independent of karma and Gyan. Bhakti is Swarat, like the Lord. And Bhakti can be obtained only, not only by only Krishna. Krishna also cannot give. It's only his pure devotees, because that is the power of attorney Krishna has given to them. So that's the explanation of this verse. Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Nishkama Karma Yoga, that which is offered to the Supreme Lord is called yajna. That which is done in the form of a sacrifice. So these are the Supreme Lord is called as a yajna. Apart from this, all other karma is a cause of bondage. Understand this well. Perform all your prescribed responsibilities for the purpose of doing yajna. Whatever is done to fulfill your own selfish desires, even if offered to Bhagwan, is a cause of bondage. Please remember, Sakama Bhakti. Be free from the desire to enjoy the fruits of action and offer the fruits of karma to him. This type of karma is actually the practice sadhana of Bhakti Yoga, and by performing it, Bhagavad Gyan, knowledge of Bhagavan, will awaken and lead you to attain to Nirguna Bhakti. So ultimately, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is mentioning, because I told there is parallels between Karma Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So you can do the sadhana of Bhakti Yoga, but ultimately, uh, Nirguna Bhakti, you can come to the step, but ultimately Yadrichaya, by the mercy of the pure devotee only, you can get that Bhakti, because then Bhaktya Sanjayate Bhaktya. That principle has to be followed. Okay, so we have completed this section. Now, if you are not qualified even for Karma Yoga, then practice Karma Kand. But no, you cannot practice Buddhi in the form of Jnana Yoga. That's what is Krishna saying now. Now, you have any questions before we go to the next section? This section, what we have discussed. If you have questions, I will take it up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 3 questions. Okay, let me see. Navneet Kalra Mataji, yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I have a question regarding the 11:20:11 verse. There is a word mentioned Vishuddham Jnanam.
Hmm.
Vishuddham, could you explain Vishuddham? It's not pure sattva, it's just sattva knowledge.
Jnanam Vishuddham Apnoti obtains
Yeah.
transcendental knowledge. So here it is transcendental knowledge. It is not
So
exactly
is
mentioned.
it's transcendental knowledge about Brahman.
Yeah, it is basically, yeah, transcendental knowledge of Brahman only, you can say.
So it's not guna atit knowledge. It's not beyond the modes, right?
I'll have to look into it. I'll have to look and see what the acharyas have to say about it. But definitely it is referring to, Gyan Yoga. So,
Yeah.
Satyam Anantam, Vishuddham, those Upanishadic words are there. Because ultimately Gyan Yoga leads to Brahman, na? In one sense, it
Yeah.
is, they are able to transcend the modes and go. So that path itself is a transcendental path. Jnana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga are transcendental paths, because
So even a
they,
Gyan
they
Yogi would
attain they
transcend the
attain the
modes.
absolute truth in the form of Brahman or Paramatma. But Bhakti Yoga, you attain Bhagavan. That is the difference.
So even a Gyan Yogi would transcend the modes only, then only he can merge in Brahman.
Yes, and that he transcends only because there is bhakti element within his Gyan practice, which will come up in the
Okay.
14th chapter.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you.
Yeah, any other questions? Very nice question this was. Shri Lalita Sumukhi Mataji, I don't know whether I'll be able to hear your question. Let us see. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, you were telling that Nishkama Karma Yoga is in Sattva Guna. Then Jnana Yoga is in which Guna?
Uh, in Jnana, you have to be situated in Sattva. You have to remember that.
Beginning
You have to be in Sattva.
slide.
You have to be in Sattva. And the processes of Jnana and Ashtanga are within the modes for your kind information. Karma is within the modes, we know that, but even Jnana and Ashtanga are within the modes. They are in Sattva. But they belong to the Vidya potency of the Lord. The Maya potency of the Lord, I'll just, the Maya Shakti, and within the Maya Shakti, there is the Vidya potency, the Vidya and the Avidya. And this Vidya, within the Vidya potency, these paths come, Jnana Yoga and Ashtanga Yoga, And Maya Shakti is, Shakti of the Lord in one sense. But Bhakti is not, Bhakti is the Swarupa Shakti of the Lord. Directly his own Shakti it is. That's why this is transcendental, this is Nirguna. So within this is in Sattva, and because they also practice some limbs of Bhakti, there is Mishran of Bhakti. So the Bhakti which is, transcendental, that will take them to the transcendental platform of Brahman or Paramatma. I hope you understand this point. Is it clear? Is it clear or no?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. I think signal I missed. I have to rehear whatever you told again in the
Oh,
recording.
okay. One more hand was raised. Sumit Kapoor had raised, I think. Or Tirthpad Prabhu had raised. Yes. Yes, Tirthpad Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandatsma Prabhu. Prabhu, in text 6, about Mithyachara. So while practicing devotional service also, sometimes we succumb to our lower natures and we
Now,
commit
there is a
some.
difference between, fighting our anarthas and, this, here what Krishna is saying, you have to understand, you know, the anarthas we are battling and we might succumb to anarthas. And, you know, in spite of succumbing to anarthas, no, I am not succumbing to anarthas, I am pure. If you say, then it is hypocrisy. But here, what is being mentioned is that, the karmendriya have passion, but you're artificially restraining, and in the mind, you're contemplating. So externally, you're totally showing as a sadhu, but internally, you're meditating on the Vishaya. So you're cheating yourself. So that's what here it means in that sense. Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Any other questions you have? So I'll just continue the discussion. We have some more time. Uh, I just decided that we will go till 8:30 onwards because at a specified time I have to finish this 6 chapters. And I'm not in a hurry, but still I want to, set a target so that we move at a good pace. So let's see now. The next section. Now, I had mentioned that I'll explain you the whole flow of the chapter 3. So now it's a time. So Arjuna's question is what? When Gyan Yoga is better than Nishkam Karma Yoga, actually you should say in fact Karma Yoga, then why are you telling me to do this ghora karma? So he thinks Gyan is better. So there is Gyan Yoga, there is Nishkama Karma Yoga, then there is Sakama Karma in the form of heaven, and then there is Vikarma. At the highest level, there is Bhakti, but Arjuna, you are not qualified for it now, Nirgun Bhakti, when by the mercy of my pure devotees. So right now you don't have qualification, he's saying. So what is happening is Arjuna wants to take up here. Gyan Yoga, there is inactivity. There is no action, but it leads to liberation. But here there is activity, but you give up the fruits, renounced activity, but this also leads to liberation. Sakam karma, there is activity, but there is, desire. This leads to heaven, and this leads to hell. And this bhakti yoga, there is activity for Krishna's pleasure without anya bilasha tashunya. This leads to Goloka. Ultimately, Krishna will establish this. So, what is happening? Krishna has established from 3 to 9 that Arjuna, you're qualified from Nishkam Karma Yoga. Now, you're not qualified for Gyan Yoga, you're qualified for Nishkam Karma Yoga, and he has said the reasons also. Because you cannot purify your heart, na karma na manaramba. And Arjuna, if you feel that you're not qualified for Nishkam Karma Yoga, because he has already mentioned you're qualified Asakta, you have to be Asakta Mukta Sangha, 3.9. Asaktam sa vishishyate. No, I'm attached. So, Sakama Karma. So, if you think you are qualified for Sakama Karma, then from Sakama Karma come to Nishkama Karma. So, this will be spoken from 3.10 to 3.16. Then Arjuna might think, oh, Arjuna, even if you think you are qualified for Gyan, still come to Nishkama Karma Yoga, 3.17 to 24. Then Karma Kand versus Nishkama Karma Yoga. That is 3.25 to 30. How Karma Yoga elevates. Karma Yoga elevates. That will be spoken from 3.31 to 35. And then there is the question of how to conquer lust. That is from 3.36 to 3.43. Conquering lust. Because in karma, there is the engagement of the senses, and lust is there in the senses, So while engaging the senses also, you have to be careful that you don't come under the sway of lust. So how to conquer lust is the last section. So this is how the flow, you can see, conquer lust. So this is how the flow is. It's more like a spiral, going down, up, down, out. So were you able to follow this? And do you have any questions on this before I now go ahead? Were you able to understand this? This is also very important. Third chapter, that's why it's little, too many spirals are there. But I hope it is clear. Any questions you have on this, what we discussed right now? No? Okay. So now let's take up this. 3.10 to 16. If you're not qualified even for Karma Yoga, that means Nishkam Karma Yoga, then practice Karma Kanda. So this is the section. स यज्ञः प्रजा सृष्ट्वा पूर्वा च प्रजापति अनेन प्रसविष्ट्वध्वम् एषोऽस्तिष्ठकामदोक् Brahma Prajapati, having created the population along with sacrifice. Saha Yagya Praja Shishtva. So along with the population, he gave the Vedic knowledge of Yagyas. Long ago spoke Puravacha, may you prosper by this sacrifice. Anena Prasavishtvadham. May it fulfill all your material desires. Esha Vaha Astu Ishtakama Dukh. That means they had material desires. Long ago, along with Yagya, Brahma created creatures qualified for offering to Vishnu and said, increase more and more the population by this dharma or Yagya. May this Yagya bestow all desired enjoyment, Ishta Kamaduk, By this, he indicated that they had material desires. They all, they had material desires. That's why you have kama, fulfill by worshipping it by Vishnu. This is, in one sense, karma kanda or sakama karma. Sakama karma yoga also you can say in one sense. But there is no yoga here actually in one sense. Because yoga means transcendence should be the goal. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the duty of a person with an impure heart is to perform nishkama karma yoga. For it is not beneficial for him to abandon his prescribed duty, karma sannyas. If he does not possess the strength to perform this selfless action, nishkam karma yoga, then even though possessed of selfish desire, he should perform his duty and offer the fruits to Bhagavan. So this is sakama karma. He should not renounce his prescribed karma and perform a karma or vikarma. No non-action. No non-action where Krishna has spoken in the second chapter while instructing on Nishkam Karma Yoga that you have the right to perform your work, but you cannot abandon your work. Where did Krishna speak about it? In the second chapter, let's see who can answer. Where did Krishna speak this? Tirthpad Prabhuji, yes.
Project 2.47.
Yes, very good. I'm very happy. 2.47. कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्म फल हेतुर्भुर मा ते संगोस्ति अकर्मणि. Don't be attached to not doing your work. Okay, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Lord Brahma performed yajna and then created progeny. He instructed his progeny to perform the same religious principles of yajna and then blessed them to expand the population. Knowing the human propensity for sensual enjoyment, he said, this yajna will fulfill all your material desires. Text 13. Devan bhavayate nena te deva bhavayantu parasparam bhavayantah shreya param avapsate. Shreya param. Ultimately, you will get the ultimate benefit. That Shreya param is you begin from here, kama, and start worshipping the Lord. And then ultimately Nishkama Karma Yoga, and ultimately it will lead to Bhakti Yoga. This is the highest param. By that sacrifice, Anena, please the Devatas, Devan Bhavayante, and the Devatas will please you, Te Deva Bhavayantu, being mutually pleased, Parasparam Bhavayanta, you will attain the highest benefit. Shreya Param Avapsate. So here the whole concept of Yajna is that all the Devatas are considered as a limb of Vishnu. That conception is there. This verse explains how the yajnas yield all desires. By this yajna, please the devatas. You make them pleased by the sacrifice. The devatas will please all of you. Bhava indicates affection in this verse. Ishtan bhogan hi wo deva dhasyante yajna bhavita ter dattan apradhayebhyo yo bhungte stena evasa. The devatas, pleased with the sacrifices, yajna bhavita, will bestow on you vah dasyante, desired enjoyment, ishtan bhogan. He who enjoys what is given by the devatas, yah ter dattan bhukte, without offering them, ebhya apradhaya, is indeed a thief. Stena eva saha. Some thief comes in your house, you're sitting, he opens the refrigerator and start eating. You'll say, you're stealing. This is my house. We are all come in this material world, and the whole material world and all the gifts of the fruits, the vegetables, everything is given by the Lord, and we take them and enjoy without offering to the Lord. Apradhaya bhyo. We are thieves and will be punished. To make this point clearer, he speaks the fault of not performing this activity. He enjoys what is given by the Devatas, such as food through the rain, without giving anything to them through performance of the Panch Mahayagya and other rites, is a thief. So basically here, what the Devatas gives us is rain. And from the rain comes grain. And these grains have to be offered in the form of Panch Mahayagya. Being pleased by the performance of the 5 types of sacrifice, Panch Mahayagya, the demigods will reward you by giving rains, which will in turn produce food grains. Note, the 5 great sacrifice consist of sacrifice to Pitras, worship of Devas, recitation of Vedas, feeding humans, and feeding all other living entities. So you do the Pitra Homa and then the worship of the Devatas, recitation of Vedas, feeding human beings, feeding all other living entities. You see, in the traditional, even in today, somewhere you go where actually traditional culture is there, na? When the food is, in the temples, there are specific places the food is kept as an offering to the Pitras, to the Devas, you know, and then, to other living beings also. So this, all devotees also should have this consciousness. And the highest level is to invite first any guest is there before we take. Or there are so many living beings at home, the ants, other living beings are there. We should all feed them and then only have. The person who enjoys what the demigods have provided without first offering them to demigods is certainly a thief. यज्ञशिष्टाशिनः सन्तो मुच्यन्ते सर्वकिल्बिषे भुञ्जते ते त्वागं पापा ये पचन्त्यात्मकारणात्. Those respectable people, Santa, Prabhupada translates Santa as devotees here, who eat the remnants of sacrifice, Yagya Shishtashina, are free from all sins. Muchyante sarva kilbisha. Those sinful persons, Papa, who cook for themselves, ye pachante atma karanat, suffer from sin. Te tu agham bhunjate. Agham means sin. Agha. And Aghasur. He was a personified form of demon in the form of sin. Agha means sin. Those who eat food remnants of yagyas such as the Vaishwa Deva Yagya become freed from all sins caused by the 5 types of violence to living entities. The 5 violent actions, Panchashuna, are described in the Smriti. The Grahasthas does not enjoy Swarg by commission of 5 violent actions towards other living entities caused by using of mortar, Khandini, Peshani, Chuli, grinding stone, Peshani. The stove, चूल्हा बोलते हैं ना घर में हिंदी में. And then there is Udaka Kumbi. Udaka Kumbi is, the water pot. And then Marjana, while brooming, so many living entities dies, Vishnu Smriti. So all these 5 types of papa which happen, so as Hare Krishna devotees, all these things happen at home. So everything should be offered to the Lord. Annad bhavanti bhutani. Okay, I don't know what's the time. Let's see. Oh, it's time up, I'll stop here. So we'll continue from this 14th verse tomorrow onwards. But if you have any questions up till now, what we have discussed in this section, the second section, if you have any questions, you can raise your hands. Any questions, any clarifications? I hope now you're getting a little bit of the flow, what is happening in the Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter. Any questions on that also, if you have, you're free to ask. No questions? Okay. So we'll stop here. Grantra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna.